Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention Show. I'm 𝗀𝗵𝗲, and each week we explore practical ideas to help you find clarity, build confidence, and create your next chapter. Can I tell you one of the biggest lies people believe when they're ready to reinvent their lives? I'm starting from scratch. I used to believe that too. When I thought about changing careers, building an online business, creating content, I kept thinking, I don't know enough. Maybe you've said something similar. I'm not experienced enough. I'm too old. Technology has passed me by. You feel overwhelmed with it. Other people know more than I do. But here's what I eventually realized. I wasn't starting over. I was starting from experience. Think about everything you've done over the years. Maybe you've managed people, raised a family, worked with customers, solved problems. Maybe you've handled difficult conversations, organized projects, learned new software, adapted to changes, supported other coworkers, had to make difficult decisions. Those aren't random life experiences. Those are transferable skills. The problem is that because they come naturally to us, we assume they're not valuable. I spent 15 years as a career counselor. I helped people recognize strengths they couldn't see in themselves. Then something interesting happened. When it came time to reinvent my own career, I had trouble seeing my own strengths. I certainly did. I think that's true for a lot of us. Technology changes, industries change, the job market changes. But some of the skills never stop being valuable to us. Never. Think about it. Things like problem solving, communication, adaptability, resilience, empathy, learning, leadership, curiosity. Those skills become even more valuable to us in midlife because you've actually lived them. The experience is education that life gave you. And life has been teaching you for decades, all of us. So if you're not starting from scratch, how do you discover the value you've been carrying all along? That's what we'll explore next in part 2. So again, if you're not starting from scratch, how do you actually recognize the value you already have? Well, the first step is learning to look at your experience differently. For years, I met people who would introduce themselves like this. I'm just an administrative assistant. I'm only a warehouse worker. I was just a stay-at-home parent. Do you notice something? Almost every sentence started with just. That one word quietly minimizes everything you've done. You were never just your job title. You hear that? You were never just your job title. You solved problems. You learned. You adapted. You supported people. You handled pressure. You kept going. That's where your value lives. So instead of asking, for example, what jobs have I done? Instead, ask yourself, what did those jobs teach me? What did those jobs teach me? Customer service, learns communication, making schedules, teaches you organization, leading a team, teaches you leadership skills, raising children, you're learning planning, patience, problem solving, running a household, you're learning budgeting, decision making, adaptability. When you start looking beneath the job title, you'll discover you've been building valuable skills for years, maybe decades. So here's something I wish more people understood. We often say, I'll do it when I feel confident, but confidence rarely comes first. I've mentioned it many times in previous videos. Capability comes first. You try, you learn, you improve, you collect evidence. Does that make sense? Then confidence quietly catches up. That's exactly why we spent July talking about collecting evidence. Every action you take is another reminder that you're more capable than you thought. It's evidence every time you accomplish it. Think about everything you've already survived. Career changes, difficult bosses, family responsibilities, health challenges, financial setbacks, unexpected disappointments. You didn't choose all of those experiences, but you learned from every one of them. Your experience is not baggage, it's preparation. Even though we have a really hard time, speaking even for myself, dealing with some hard experiences at times, we got to remember that it's not baggage, it's preparation. Let that sink in. So let's put everything together. Everything that we've learned basically in the last couple of months. It was several different questions and topics to help us reinvent ourselves. The first one we learned, does it fit me? The direction that I'm considering, does it fit me? The second, why am I choosing it? The third, what evidence can I collect that'll help build confidence in this direction? Afterwards was, what's my next brick? My next step, the next brick I got to put down to keep going. And then, can I keep this promise to myself today? When I make promises for the things that I'm going to do in my next steps, can I keep this promise to myself today? And now the one that I'm adding is, I'm starting from experience. That's a very different story than I'm starting over. So that's the new one that we're listing. I'm starting from experience. This week, I'd like you to do something a little different. This is our midlife reinvention challenge that I do every week. Take out a notebook, write this question at the top of the page. What has life taught me? Now make a list, not of your jobs, not of your qualifications so much, but the skills you've gained through work, family, setbacks, and everyday life. It might take some time to work through that, thinking about it, because we have this, I don't know if disconnect's the best word for it when we're thinking about jobs, qualifications, what we're experienced in. That's why we're discussing what we are today, right? So if you want to go back and listen to a little bit more over again to get some of those examples that I shared of what skills you learn from what certain things you do in life, just rewind it and go back. Okay. But take out that notebook and write that question on top. What has life taught me? Now make your list and make sure that your list is of the things you gained through work, family, setbacks, and everyday life. I tell you, you might be surprised how long that list becomes. Seriously. Now, one of the greatest privileges I had during my years of career counseling was watching people realize they were more capable than they believed. It's like a huge light bulb moment. And sometimes all they needed was someone to help them see it. So let me say something to you today. You are not starting from zero. You're not. You're starting from experience. Remember that. Now, if today's conversation helped you recognize that you already have more to offer than you realized, I'd love to help you build on that foundation. Now, the Midlife Clarity Workbook, which I designed, will help you identify strengths, values, and the direction that fits your next chapter. And if you're feeling stuck and need a fresh perspective, then download my free 15-minute reset. It's a simple, very simple exercise to help you reconnect with what's already inside you. And if you're the type of person who would like more personalized guidance, book a midlife clarity session with me. Together, we'll uncover the strengths and opportunities that you may not be seeing yet. And you'll find the links to all three of these in the description below. As usual, I'd love to hear from you. So here's our question. What's one life experience that's made you stronger? Please feel free to share it in the comments. Your story might just encourage someone else. Now, next week, we're going to talk about something every reinvention journey includes. The days when progress feels painfully slow and how to keep moving regardless. So in closing, remember that you aren't starting over. You're starting from experience. Trust your experience. Keep the promise. Lay the next brick. And keep building your next chapter, one intentional step at a time. See you next week.